Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit. I'm here live from PAX Prime 2013 here in Seattle. I am here with Tom and Spectala. Did I manage to nail that? Pretty close? Close enough? Okay, great. I'll survive the rest of the event. That's good to know. And you're here, of course, from Techland, and you're showing Dying Light right now. So why don't you give the viewers just a quick rundown of what that actually is?
Okay, Dying Light is a first-person open-world action survival game, and we have also a day and night cycle, and this is something that changes the gameplay. So we kind of joke around our office that it's two games in one. Yeah, but it's action survival game with zombies in it.
Action survival game with zombies in it. Now, I've had a chance to play the hands-on demo, and I'll be giving my full impressions of that a little bit later on. But I'd like to ask you about a couple of elements of it. So, this is not the first time that Techland has attempted zombies. You guys, of course, did Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide. So, what made you decide to do another zombie game, but with a slightly different spin on it this time around?
We came up with this concept that if we add some new elements to the zombie genre, we can create something new, something fresh, something unique. So that's the idea. We decided to go with it because we thought that, hey, this is something that hasn't been done before, and these elements that we have in our game, these are things that I think zombie genre fans really will like. And that's really that simple. We just thought it's a great idea.
Yeah, this is the third zombie survival game of some sort that you've done, but quite frankly, it doesn't really resemble Dead Island in many ways, aside from the very much the weight of the weapons, which is one of the strengths of Dead Island. And there is a lot of melee fighting available in the game, but you're certainly not encouraged to use it this time around, whereas Dead Island was way more a case of, oh, you have a weapon, feel free, just wail away on zombies. This time around, things are a little bit more deadly. So why don't you tell the viewers the emphasis of Dying Light?
Well, it's hard to say that there's emphasis on any one element. In the Island, as you mentioned, you could only just hack and slash. Really, it was hack and slash game. In this game, you have to use everything that's at your disposal to just survive. You have to use your strength, but you also have to use your agility. You have to use the intelligence, and I think that using your intelligence is the most important thing because in each situation you have many options to choose from, and you have to make those decisions in like split seconds. And the decisions that you make, they're like you either live or you die, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely, and we definitely saw that in the demo very much so. Now, the parkour system, I think, is probably going to be something that a lot of people focus on because it's one of the more unique elements of the game. Parkour systems have been done before. They haven't been done that much in first person, and when they have been done, they've been a lot more limited. So why don't you walk us through how the parkour actually works, and also just tell us a little bit about your priorities when you were designing it.
Okay, so this is open world, so you want to make gamers feel that they can go any way they like. And so if there's something that's within the reach of their hands, they can just go there, they can jump there, they can climb on top of it. So that's like the basis, the basic idea behind the parkour element. As I mentioned, it's open world, so it's not like you have those linear corridors with like some elements highlighted. You can grab onto everything, and this really is supported by other elements of the game. So if you see zombies, it's viable and it's kind of easy to avoid them and to jump on roofs, etc., etc.
Yeah, now you mentioned open world. So usually in open world games, there is some kind of restriction as to where you can initially go, whether it be a hard restriction in the sense of you can't get out of this area, or whether it be a soft restriction saying, well, you can go there, but you're probably dead if you actually try it. So how do you actually manage the progression through your open world?
Okay, so we kind of go with the soft, like you mentioned, the soft limitation. You can go anywhere you like. But to be honest, there are sections of the maps, sections of the game that will be quite hard if you go there at the start of the game. So you have to level up your character, you have to build it. We start with 4 characters because this is a 4-player co-op game and can be played in co-op. You start with 4 characters on the same base level, and then you build those characters however you like it during the gameplay. But all of those characters have the basic ability to free run, to use the parkour movements.
Okay, so you mentioned some character progression, so let's get into that a little bit more. You've done it before with Dead Island, and you had 4 fairly distinct classes that focused on different kinds of combat. You could all kind of use the same weapons, but you would get an emphasis on various different kinds of combat here. This time around, you're less combat-focused, so what kind of abilities will these different classes actually have?
So each of our abilities are active skills, so you have to press something and you have to do something to use those skills. And of course, there are skills that are focused, that are related to combat, but of course, there are also skills that are just for made for the free running. So, for example, I hope you were able to experience that. There is one skill that allows you to jump on top of zombies and then jump higher. So that's just one of the examples of the skills that we have.
Excellent. Okay, so you did mention four-player co-op, and I only got to play it in single player. So I've got to ask, what does the co-op bring to the table? What kind of things can you do with a party of people that you couldn't really do on your own?
Okay, so this is four-player co-op game, and this is drop in, drop out. So you can just, if you're having trouble with any mission, you can just call your friends and tell them, hey, I'm having troubles with these problems with those missions. Please help me. So they can just drop in and they help you. Of course, the system that we've created doesn't matter if you play alone or if you play with four players. So, for example, one of you can, for example, make some noise and he can draw the zombies to him, and then the other players can safely walk around them and complete the objective.
Okay, so what kind of synergies can we expect between the classes to allow them to work together in co-op?
Well, the classes, as I've mentioned before, it's kind of hard to talk about classes in our game because you start at the 0 level, and then there are many builds that you can end up with. So it's kind of hard to talk about classes, but of course there are skills that you can use to help other people. But that's that. But the amount of, as you said, synergies is really limitless.
Right, so basically what we're talking about here is a class system that would allow you to play with four of the same class, but everything would still work together. There is some synergy, but no interdependence.
Of course, yes.
Right, excellent. So a couple of extra questions that I've got for you. Obviously, Techland has released an awful lot of games on PC over the past few years, and this is a multi-platform title. Are there any PC-specific features that we should be looking out for?
Well, not really, because we want to make a game that plays the same on all platforms. Of course, we try to play the strengths of each platform, but in terms of PC, it's mostly the processing power and the use of the middleware. But it plays the same on all platforms, really.
Okay, and I suppose the last question that I would have before we wrap this up is, do you have a release date for Dying Light as of yet?
What we say right now is 2014, and the game comes out on PS4, PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and of course PC.
And are you expecting simultaneous release for all of those platforms?
Yes, of course.
Okay, fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, interview with Dying Light. You can check out my full impressions of the hands-on demo on this channel. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks very much for talking to us today, and I'll see you next time.